All right, welcome back. Let me get my screen here. All right. So, today's specimen we're going to be taking a look at here is this HP All-in-One that I got from the recycler. This was sitting outside for like a day, and he said he had to pick some leaves out of it, but he said it was free, and if I could get it working, it was all mine. So I took it back home, and let's take a look at it to see if we can possibly get this thing to work. I'll be quite curious. So this is the, let's see, this is the HP 24-G020. 24 because I'm assuming it's 24 inches on the screen. More accurately 23.8, but you know, for all intents and purposes, 24-inch screen. And then I believe that this has an AMD A4 7410 CPU. That's at least what Google tells me. Should it be DDR3? And I think this released around the time that Windows 10 was brand new. From what I understand from the little bit of research I was able to do. So I got the power adapter plugged in here. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if we can find out, you know, if there's anything wrong with it, what's wrong with it, if we can fix it, etc. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with a very simple power on. I hear fan spinning. Okay, we have a backlight. Do we get a post? We do not seem to be getting any kind of post, but the backlight is on, so that's interesting. So we're definitely getting power. Okay, so let's see if, I don't know if that's a problem with the hard drive or what, but let's get a keyboard and let's see if we can get into the BIOS. All right, got a keyboard. So let's go ahead and power it back on and see if we can get into the BIOS with delete or F10, F12, something like that. My keyboard's lighting up. Okay, so we got power, but for some reason we can't get any kind of video, although we do get backlight. So I don't think the screen is the problem. So that's interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart and see what's going on the inside. So I'll see you guys when I get that set up. So this thing is still warm. All right, so let's see if we can go ahead and get this opened up. This thing is also quite dirty, so it's going to need a clean at some point, but let's see if we can go ahead and get the thing open. It has these nice little vents at the top that should help in getting open, and I remember the side was actually kind of coming off, so maybe that's where we can open this thing up. Might need a flat head. All right, I finally got this thing cracked open. Finally got it open. It stinks in here. It smells like shit. And there's something wrong, man. There is something that is wrong here. So this isn't plugged into anything. This ribbon cable. Okay, so let's see. I just got this apart. These cables are kind of all over the place. What is this? What? Okay, where do these go? This is not cool. Okay. This was just kind of hanging out. This wire is popped. So yeah, this ain't cool. Okay. Oh boy. Let's try and figure this out. So it's got this like dust that's awful. It's right here. That looks like it's coming up from this heat sink. I've never seen like brown dust like that before. Looks absolutely terrible. Okay, so that looks okay. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to take stock of, like, what is what right now. So I had to take the stand off to get to this thing. Okay, so DVD drive works. I've already verified that. Power button's good. This looks like the video connector. This is what, I think this is the video connector. So this was just not plugged in. Okay, well, we can fix that. Where does it go? Where does this go? I don't know. Okay, because we have a little board on the back here that presumably this plugs into. Okay, so that's fine. But then we have this connector that is like kind of just bunched up. Okay, so it looks like here was a hard drive cage, and it looks like did this go to the hard drive? It looks like they took out the hard drive cage before they donated this to the recycling center. I see a SATA port. I don't see SATA power is the problem. So that could be an issue. As for how much RAM we have, oh, damn it. Okay, I don't have enough room to work here. Let's take a look at our RAM. So, well, let's just oh, here you go. 8 gigs DDR3, so that's fine. It's HP proprietary RAM. Cool, all right. Okay, so these cables are all nestled in here. This one, again, I don't know where this is going. That might be like a Wi-Fi antenna. Does it have a label on it? What does it say? Wi-Fi. Okay, so that is a Wi-Fi antenna. Good. All right, so this plug will go into this board here. So that will plug into there. All right, so that was unplugged when I opened it. So there's that. Now, it doesn't have a drive. I am not totally surprised by that. Sometimes when you get recycled computers, sometimes they have drives, sometimes they don't. But what I'm curious about is how the drive gets power. Because I see a SATA port there, so I can throw a SATA SSD in here, but where is it getting its power? That is the question. Because we have to have a drive in here somehow. Alright, let me Google this because we're going to need video and okay, so this cable says N93C for AMD, so I'm assuming this is going to the video component. So that's going to need to connect to this thing in some way. I'm sure we'll figure that out. Oh, I think I found it. Okay. I think it goes in there. All right. I think I found it. All right. So let me do a little bit more research and I'll be right back, but I think I can kind of get a picture of where we're going with this. Okay, so here's where we're at. So this was not plugged in. This is the video cable. So let's go ahead and get that plugged into the actual screen, the display. Okay, so the video cable is in. I already plugged this into the daughter board. I don't know what this, so this cable looks, what is this? Okay, that's just a piece of sponge. This was popped. I don't know what this is. All right, will it lift out? Okay, it will come out. And it has a label on it. I don't know what this means. So, webcam cable. Okay, so this is the webcam. So, it's popped off. So, I guess the webcam is toast. That's okay. I'm gonna plug that back in just in case it yells at me that it's not plugged in. Okay. So I guess we can't use the webcam because that cable's, the end is popped off. So, all right, so we got the video plugged in, so that should get us into the BIOS. What that leaves us with the problem is the hard drive cage has a little assembly that goes with it, little cable harness that will plug into, you got your SATA connector for communication, but you also have this weird 4-pin that would go to power. They took that out. They took that out with the cage. I can't find it in here. So I have to assume that it is gone. So that being the case, basically I would have to buy a new cage and cable harness for this thing after cleaning it up, unfortunately. I mean, I don't need necessarily the cage. I could just probably 3M tape an SSD in here, but getting SATA power to this is what would be the struggle. Maybe I could, let's see. I'm trying to just think outside the box. Because there's not a lot of connectors on this board. So yeah, I think I would just need to buy a new connector for it, or maybe somehow, that looks like a USB standoff, but I don't know. Basically I would need to get a new cable harness to put an SSD in this thing. So I don't know about that. I looked up on eBay real quick. There's a bunch of these proprietary cable harnesses for HPs. There's just a lot of them. And I don't know, you have to make sure that you got the right one, and you gotta pray that they don't want like frickin' $20 for one little cable for an old computer like this. So I don't know about that. We'll have to see. I hope, maybe someday, but I hope it's not the end of our journey just yet. So, with all that being said, we got the video plugged back in, and basically this big ribbon cable here is going to the AMD APU under here. So what I want is to basically get this plugged back in and see if we can get a video from it. That's what I really want. And what is this screw? There was a screw just randomly in here. I don't know where that's from. All right. So let me go get the charger. Make sure it'd be okay. So we will plug the power adapter back into power. All right. And then power should be right here. Okay, so it's turned on, and then this display is connected to the APU, so it should, oh, all right, guys, check that out. Haha, look at that. Okay, we got a display. Okay, so that's progress. So now it says boot device not found. Please install an operating system on your hard disk. That makes sense because there's no drive in here. So what we would need is the cable harness that allows us to connect an SSD to this thing. There's no leads on this thing for me to like mod something in here. There is what looks to be like a USB adapter, but I don't know if it's full sized or not. I can't really tell. So yeah, I would probably just need to buy that cable assembly. But yeah, so it is working. So that is fine. And then can I tell if this is a touch screen? I can't. Let me get a keyboard. I got a keyboard right here. F2 for system diagnostics. Okay. So we are in HP PC hardware diagnostics UEFI. All right. So hard drive. So we have memory test, hard drive check, language, and exit. I guess we don't need to check for hard drive. We know there's not one in here. Memory test. Starting memory test. So this is just checking to make sure all of our RAM is okay. We probably don't need to wait for that. Language, okay, so that's pretty basic stuff. If we do Control-Alt-Delete, can we restart? Okay, we can. So let's see if we can get into a BIOS. Okay, is it say, like, entering BIOS in any way? It doesn't appear to. Okay. I'm just trying to, like, see if I can get into... I want like a more sophisticated BIOS or something. It does not appear to... Okay. So maybe you need to have a hard drive installed in order to even get into it, but that's weird. So it looks like for the time being, this is as far as we can go. So that is a shame. All right. Okay. Well, that is some progress. I don't know. I'd have to buy a brand new harness for this thing in order to install an SSD. I don't know how feasible that is. I don't even know what to look for, because you got to make sure it's the right proprietary one. So we'll see. But, you know, hey, just getting the display plugged back in, that's progress. So we know that this thing, if it has an SSD in it, should be functional. That's a pretty good start. But that's where I'm going to leave it off for right now. Real quick, I wanted to try and show you guys here. You can see I'm fiddling with my display settings. I tried to rig this thing up to be used as a monitor. It does not work. You cannot use these all-in-one computers as just a spare monitor. The HDMI connector on this all-in-one is only an HDMI output, not an input. So this cannot be used. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a monitor that uses touchscreen. It does not work. So you cannot use these as an external monitor. So I'm going to have to, if I want to get any use out of it, I'm going to have to fix it up. But that's kind of where I'm going to be leaving it off here. We'll see about getting that part ordered, or maybe I'll come across it one of these days. But until then, that's it. But I just wanted to show you guys that I at least attempted this. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.